What's going on, IGTV, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you guys are watching this? I'm going to run over an older blog and a podcast that we did titled Love Your Body. And if you want to hear it more in detail, you can head over to the Jeremy Scott Fitness Podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, wherever you guys dig into podcasts. And I break it down in a little bit more detail than this, but I'm going to read through the blog notes here because I don't want to get lost, because I think it's important. And I think a lot of us are our own worst enemy in terms of how we look physically, and we tear ourselves down. And I want you guys to stop doing that. And if you follow anything that I do and what we coach, we teach transformation from the inside out. And it starts with, all the 4 pillars of fitness, not just the physical, but the mental aspect of it. And this is what I'm going to drill down on here. So when I talk about loving your body, your body, the thing that you wake up in every single day, the beautiful, strong, powerful, high-functioning machine you guys travel through life in. Your body is an amazing gift, whether you guys realize it or not. Your body is meant to be cared for, to be loved, to be appreciated, to be cherished for the precious gift that it is. And it's probably the greatest gift most of you will ever be given. However, in society today, in the world we live in, with social, with TV, with magazines, we're constantly flooded with body images. And we become conflicted with what our body is and what our idea of an ideal body should look like and move like and feel like. I think many of us we're very unrealistic about it, and typically we tend to steer towards the negative as opposed to the positive. We often overanalyze, we obsess, we become depressed even about how our body looks and how it's perceived by us and the people around us and how people judge us. And we're all guilty of this on some level. I was years ago, and I think many of you who are watching this are probably the same way right now. You're way too hard on yourselves for the effort that you're putting in. A lot of us, we think that we're too tall, or we're too short, or we're too skinny, or we're too fat, or we're not muscular enough, or we weigh too much, or we don't weigh enough, or we don't have abs, or we're not the right dress size, or we're not the right pant size, or our butt's too big, or our butt's too small, or this body part is lagging, or we have cellulite here. Whatever it is, you name it, you guys have heard it over the past decade. The perception of what an ideal body has been created around some ridiculously fucking unrealistic ideals and metrics by which we judge ourselves and others. Many of us develop like some sort of disorder, even like body dysmorphia, if you will. Been guilty of it myself early on in my fitness career. We literally obsess about our external image and what we see in the mirror, and oftentimes we drive ourselves insane. We're driven to greedily obsessing about looks. And, I want to look like this fitness person or this celebrity or this movie star, and saying things like, I wish I had abs like him, or I'd love to have a butt and legs like her. It's an endless comparison that can lead to rejection of our own beautiful self, because when we're always trying to compare to others, we're never really truly becoming our own and appreciating all the gifts that we have. And I promise you guys, no matter how shitty you think your genetics are, you do have some amazing gifts that you've been given. And we begin to negatively view and talk about our bodies to ourselves. We start looking in the mirror saying things like, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not lean enough, I'm not muscular enough, I'm not big enough, I'm looking too old, whatever it is. We're all guilty of it at some level. We find things that we're unhappy with in our bodies, and we stand in front of the mirror and we focus on our trouble spots, staring at them, putting them under a microscope, analyzing every inch, line, and blemish we can see. And be honest with yourself. We've all done this, you guys, and nothing good ever comes from it. It's an insane practice. Standing in front of the mirror naked, after you got the shower or whatever you're doing, staring at yourself, looking at your stomach, at your butt, at your legs, at your chest, at your arms, being overly critical of your body, feeding your fucking head full of bullshit, leads to nothing but negative thoughts and ideas about yourself and all the hard work you guys have put in. And again, I'm telling you guys not to do this, to sit in the mirror and stare at yourself and overanalyze and look at your butt from an angle, or squeeze your stomach, or whatever it is, because it has a little bit of extra fat, or there's a little bit of cellulite or a dimple here. It literally is magnifying the problem 10,000 times over, because I promise you, all the things you're noticing, none of us give a shit. The rest of the world does not care. It is only a problem and issue to you in your brain, and by you staring at it and magnifying the problem day after day after day after day, it creates this almost psychosis in your brain, and you'll drive yourself nuts doing it. So I'm asking you guys to please stop doing that. And what I can tell you today with 100% certainty is this: there is no final destination, you guys, on the road to loving yourself inside and out. It's an endless journey, from womb to tomb, if you will, and somewhere along the way you must stop. the insanity of doing the shit that you're doing, and really enjoy and appreciate and love your body for what it is, not for what it isn't. You have to love your body for what it is, not for what it isn't. We can always work on the things we wish to change. So if having ripped up, six-pack abs or a perfect ass is important to you guys, then go out and please grind for it, work for it, eat right, track your macros, train your face off, move your body with purpose daily. Appreciate and love the journey, though, along the way to get those things. Don't hate yourself every minute of the ride. Literally have fun trying to attain the things you guys truly want to attain. You guys, you can only work on the things you wish to change. You can't, make magic happen. Sometimes genetics is real, and there's certain things that we're not going to be able to shift and mold like somebody else, and that's okay. The beauty of us is that we're kind of all uniquely fucked up in the way that we are, and that's fine. So you might have, some symmetrical problems. None of us are perfectly symmetrical, and that's okay. You might have a bigger ass or smaller boobs or bigger shoulders or smaller calves or whatever it may be, but you have to appreciate that for the beauty that it is, because you got a bunch of other gifts that other people didn't get. And you can't go through your whole life comparing your daily image to the progress of other people and their highlight reels and their genetic gifts. Yours are yours, theirs are theirs. And you can't compare your chapter 1 on your fitness journey to someone else's chapter 15. You just can't. Body comparison, you guys, is a cancer. It kills happiness. It robs of our own uniqueness. It literally steals your identity. It's these comparisons to other people that make us think, act, and even do stupid, foolish things. It creates horrible image of how we see ourselves, which builds an internal tension of how we see our bodies and how happy you are every single day. Because if you hate the body that you're trapped in, you ultimately hate your life. And a lot of you guys are doing it, and it's not necessary. Don't underappreciate or underestimate the power and the beauty and the strength of your own body and what it is. And our differences make us truly unique and make us all truly special and make us badass. And I believe that. So when you guys wake up tomorrow, promise me this. You'll stop comparing yourself to the world. And that goes for your body, your life, the money you make, your education level, where you're at and what you're doing. Just the comparison shit has to stop. You have to stop putting yourself down. You have to stop the negative self-talk. You have to stop saying, the negative shit to yourself. You have to start saying positive things to yourself and stop focusing on, the 2 or 3 negative things, but focus on the 97 positive things. You have to start being confident in your own body. Wherever you're at right now, fuck it. It might not be perfect, but appreciate for how amazing that it is. You cannot spend another second wishing and wanting what someone else has and wishing, to look like some other person. You don't have their parents. You don't have their genetics. You have certain gifts that are yours. They have gifts that are theirs. Let that shit go. You'll understand you guys have far more strengths than you have weaknesses, and that's the reality of it. When you accept this journey is yours and it's yours alone, then you'll truly be happy and successful in loving your body and ultimately loving yourself in the process. You have to embrace and love your body for what it is and the amazing things that you've been given that nobody else has been given. That's all it says, you guys. Just my quick rant on you. If you find yourself really being, overly negative of how you look and staring at yourself and hating yourself in the mirror for certain things that might not be perfect to you, it's not going to get any better, no matter what shape you get in. And I'm promising you guys, whether it's six-pack abs, whether it's having a perfect ass, whether it's being on the cover of a magazine, oftentimes those goals are deflating. Trust me, I've been there. I've seen myself on billboards and not liked it because I didn't like the picture. I wasn't muscular enough, or I wasn't lean enough, or whatever the fucked up problem was in my brain. And only when you step away from that, you can see the forest from the trees and see how crazy that is. And so I know if I've dealt with it at ages, 22, 23, 24, some of you guys are still dealing with it at 54, 55, 56. You have to let it go because there's a lot of people out there, and I don't want to get real serious. They would trade places with you in a heartbeat. There's people literally out there who they can't walk, they can't run, they can't get out of the bed. They're going through chemo treatment. They have 19 different things seriously wrong with them, and you're sitting in a mirror staring at yourself worried about a little bit of fucking cellulite, or because you don't have six-pack abs, or you think your stomach is too thick, or your butt is too small, or whatever the problem is. And I promise you, those are not life-altering problems. They're all things that are fixable and changeable, and even if it's never going to be perfect, that's okay. It is a gift that you guys can live this life, and you can run, you can jump, and you can move, and you have the luxury to be able to eat a certain way and train a certain way and change the things you don't love about yourself. So take it for what it's worth, you guys. Love your body, and eventually you'll end up loving your life. Anything else you guys want to hear on these videos, hit me up, let me know. If you think this can help anybody, you guys, who's dealing with some body image issues, please share it with them. I promise you it matters. And until next time, eat well, train hard, be nice to people, and please, you guys, Keep doing shit you love with people you enjoy because your life is too short not to. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.